What if I told you that a man with 1.5 legs can do a marathon? A lot of you will stand up and say, today's technology will empower him, so let's not talk about these kind of cliched questions. The point is not that. The point is something else. How will this man work? How will this man actually run a marathon? I will leave you with that thought. I am Rajeshwari. I am a lawyer. I'm an IP practitioner. I practice intellectual property law, trademarks, patents, copyright, designs. I fight cases in the High Court and the Supreme Court. And I do a lot of other things. I do photography. I play the veena. And all of these kind of personalities exist within me. I also do a lot of social work. So there are a lot of things that I do. But today I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here today to talk about courage and conviction. So you've heard about courage. We all know what is courage. Courage is, there is a situation. You stand up for people. It's bravery. It's pluck. So you stand up for that. That's brave. That's courage. But I'm not on that raw courage. There's a lot of people with raw courage. I told you about that man who has 1.5 legs. One who has, maybe he can have a prosthetic device. And because of his prosthetic device, he can be encouraged. And with some practice, maybe he can walk. And not only walk, with more practice, he can probably do a marathon. Maybe a walkathon and maybe a marathon. The point is not that. The point is his decision to actually do that marathon, do that walkathon. That's the point. For him with these kind of abilities, to take that decision itself is a big achievement in his life. For that, he has to strive a lot. And for that, he requires two things: courage and conviction. In fact, he requires conviction first and then courage. And I'll explain to you why. Because remember, around all of us, we have a support system who says, yes, madam, please go and run the marathon. Please go and do the walkathon. Around him are people who are saying, please safeguard yourself. You have just whatever limited abilities. Do not spoil them. Do not waste them. And then he has to fight against all of those odds. Stand up and say, sorry, I will compete with everyone who is normal. And then do the walkathon, then do the marathon. And that's why I say, for him, the courage and conviction is what fuels him. And I'll give you an example. Let's assume that, you are chemistry professor, social worker, or a lawyer like me, someone with a few years of experience. And then you want to participate in the next summit, the Women's Summit, or whatever is that new summit, the new summit on chemistry. You've never participated in that, but you want to participate. And you are motivated to participate because you see all your peers doing that. So you say, look, they've done that, so I think I can do that. And there's a 50% or a 60% of your brain which says we should go for it. But then there is another part of your brain which says, madam, please hold on. Look at yourself. Look at your qualifications. And look at the panelists. 30 years experience, 40 years experience, 25 years experience. Where are you in this? Nowhere. Hold back. Don't be adventurous. Don't go there. And then there is a whole bunch of people around you. Look here, you failed last time. Look here, you stammered. This happened. And there are a lot of people to discourage you. And then these failures are magnified by your self-doubt. They are amplified to such an extent by your own self, your own brain, that you feel discouraged and you say, maybe this is not the time. Maybe next time is what I will try. Maybe the next time comes, maybe the next time doesn't come. And here I want to tell you about self-doubt. It is the self-doubt that keeps you from holds you from realizing your true potential. I'll give you another example. My own self. I was a jolly, happy-go-lucky person. You know, I was a topper in my college. I was a topper in the school. There was not an exam that I did not top. There was not a game that I did not top. And everything was going on very well. In my college, I was doing at least 4 courses. My college was in the morning, and then I was doing 3+ courses in all at the same time. And I was quite on the top of all of them. One day I met with a really fatal accident. I came under the bus. I was crossing the road. I was in my tearing hurry, and I was absolutely under the bus. So a lot of bones were fractured and muscles were crushed. And the doctors gave me 48 hours. And they said, if she makes it, then we'll see. And if she doesn't make it, then it's okay. So I survived the 48 hours. And by the grace of God, and with a lot of help from a lot of plastic surgeons and orthopedic surgeons, they assembled me into one piece. And then they said that, look here, we've assembled you, but mind you, you've got to be very careful. You can't climb mountains. You can't be as adventurous as you were. Your legs cannot be bent. They are going to be straight. Because you know, when you work with bones, they can be fixed. But when you work with muscles, they often tend to get stiff and they don't get so, they're not so flexible. You need to work a lot to get them flexible. So they said you can't bend the knees, and your elbows, you got to be very careful with them. And they told me a whole lot of things. And there were thousands of people who would tell me this. My friends, my relatives, the doctors especially. You know, the doctors have a great influence on you. You look up to them for advice, and all of them told me that you have to have crutches and that's how you will lead your life. But being a topper, someone who doesn't accept anything which is second, I said, nothing doing. I will not live with crutches in my life. I took to yoga. I did a lot of physiotherapy. Maybe I think I'm still doing yoga. And I did lots and lots and lots of physiotherapy. I can't tell you how much. And here I am in front of you. What actually triggered my recovery was my only one conviction. I have 2 hands. I have 2 legs. I can survive. I can do it. So that courage and the conviction propelled me to take those steps, propelled me on a daily basis to do the physiotherapy, to do my yoga, and I was literally occupied the entire day doing this. It was really painful, but I did it, and that's how I am here. But that was not all. There was a whole year which was gone. And being a topper all the time, I wanted to top my last year. It was my last year in college. So I took notes from my colleagues and I topped that class as well. That was my 3rd year. So I finally topped that exam. Then I wanted to become a doctor. That was my real dream. And it is still my dream. I don't know if I can, but it was a dream of mine that I wanted to become a doctor. So I was told that, look here, if you're a doctor, you'll have to stand for long hours. Your legs will not permit you. So don't take that, don't take that stream. So I said, all right, I'll take a lawyer's course. And I did become a lawyer. Everyone thought that when you become a lawyer, you'll become an in-house counsel, meaning you will go and sit in a company, you will, work from 10 to 5, and that's how you will take care of yourself. I said, no, I will do something better. I took to litigation, which means that you got to run from courts, one court to the other, one building to the other, and there is extreme tension because you need to actually deliver on a daily basis. Every day is an exam. So I took to litigation, and I'm really enjoying it. But my body really helped me in that. One, because I was doing yoga, and one, because I was doing physiotherapy. But above all, it was my courage and my conviction that took me through. So here I am trying to tell you about self-doubt. It is not that throughout my journey, I was without self-doubt. Many times I fell. Many times I failed. But at each time, I used to confront self-doubt in my profession, in my daily life, in my other walks of my life. I do have self-doubt. The way we confront self-doubt is to analyze it and to actually confront it. Dissect it. What is self-doubt all about? It is the fear of the unknown. It is the fear of failure. It is the fear that you will go into an uncharted territory and perhaps you may not make it. It is the magnified effect of the kind of failure that is likely to be. Without even testing, nobody knows. You haven't attempted, so you don't know whether you're going to fail or not. But that great self-doubt, that self-destructive thought that comes into your mind tells you, sorry, just hold back. Don't go there. And that's what you have to fight against. When you fight against that self-doubt, take it by itself, little by little, dissect it, and for each element, you will find an answer. Uncharted territory, doesn't matter, we will prepare. Never done before, doesn't matter, we will prepare. Others have failed because they have not prepared. But if you prepare, you will succeed. You've never done it before, doesn't matter. There's always a first time. And despite all this, if you fail, it's okay to fail. It's okay not to be the first. That's a big thing for me. Being a topper all your life and then accepting that it's okay to fail was a very big realization for me. But then I analyzed myself and I felt that if I was to conquer self-doubt, if I was to vanquish self-doubt, the only way I will do it is to confront it, dissect it, and then eliminate it from my life. I decided with many of my cases that I am not going to be a doubting Tom. I am going to approach this life with great grit, honesty, and courage. The courage of conviction. There are still a lot of people who tell me that this approach is not good in this particular case, and this approach is not good in this case. I listen to a lot of people, but I do what I like. I do what I think is best in that situation. And believe me, it always pays. So self-doubt, you have to make it your friend. It's actually beautiful. The day you embrace self-doubt, it's beautiful. Why? Because you then have those possibilities that you can prepare for. These are the parts in which you can actually fail. And you are going to prepare for all that. So then whatever is going to be the result is only one thing, and that is success. So here, today, let us take this first step today, one at a time. Today we shall vanquish self-doubt. We shall conquer self-doubt and approach with courage and grit. Thank you.